Greetings, fellow investigators, and welcome back to our video podcast, Into the Darkness, where my friends and I play the Call of Cthulhu role-playing game. I'm your host, Tom Rayleigh. The campaign is Cold Fire Within. It was written by Christopher Smith Adair, and it's available from the Chaosium website and the Drive-Thru RPG website. Our game master is Zane Fleming, and this is episode 2. Our recap will be given by Matthew Sanderson as his character Milton Blake. So without any further delays, let's begin our journey into the darkness. Matthew?
Do you ever wake up with that feeling that something very, very wrong is about to happen? A feeling of approaching dread? Well, normally that happens to me on the most terrible and tormenting of days. Other people call them Mondays. Not normally a Wednesday, though. Usually, I find the best thing to do is just keep on being positive, think nothing of it, and move on. But after the last few hours, though, I'm not so sure that was the right thing to do. Breakfast has a remarkable ability to restore faith in the natural order of the world, especially with some strong Irish coffee, more of the Irish, less of the coffee, that is, and meat so bloody it makes the plate look like a crime scene. Everything was getting back to normal. We were all sat around a breakfast table getting ready for our debrief later, until Melody Sterling comes in. She needed help, and it looks like we've got our next case to investigate. No rattling pipes or fake hauntings this time, though. You'd think being married to a successful dentist, as well as coming from money herself, would mean she had a good life. Boring as watching paint dry, but at least she was financially secure. Not anymore. It seems that Brendan, her tooth-pulling husband, has gone missing. He drained their bank account and vanished after seeing a somewhat suspicious hypnotist by the name of Ferdinand August. With a surname like that, it makes me think that someone tried to put August on their birth certificate, but they couldn't spell. He's also pulled his own vanishing act. Well, as fellow members of the Arcane Society, our group immediately offered to help. After bombarding the poor lady with questions over the breakfast table, we had a few leads. Leopold Fontanelli, the only man with the dubious honour of being kicked out of the Arcane Society, and to be honest, quite rightly so, after he revealed himself to be a supporter of a white right-wing group called the League of the Forgotten Men. Who do they think they've been forgotten by, I wonder? Apparently, he'd been in contact with Brendan shortly before his vanishing act. It also appears that Brendan may have gone to a meeting, or meetings, of the League, as he had one of their white armbands stuffed into his coat pocket. Nothing else in his behaviour implied that anything was wrong. He just dropped everything, took the cash and vanished. After sending Melody with her own breakfast away, paying a cab for her, and myself offering to cover a mortgage payment that's due shortly, we all went our separate ways, splitting up to cover more ground and pursue our different lines of investigation. Dracos was leaning heavily in the direction of Brendan running off with another woman. It's possible, but seems too spontaneous for me. He decided to go check in the local morgues for signs of his body turning up. Nothing yet, but New York is a big city with lots of places to hide a corpse. Lethbridge gave Oscar Kilgrave at the Arcane Society a call to discuss the strange amulet Argus used in his hypnotism. A tree in an oval with some kind of serpent figure. Apparently it's connected with the position of a high priest in some ancient land called Lomar. It's mentioned in the same kind of way that Atlantis is an ancient. Whether it actually existed, that's another question. Daughter and Chambers decided to hit the books and newspapers at the library, researching several topics, our vanishing August, the League, Fontanelli, that sort of thing. The most interesting among their findings was the fact that it seems August appeared in New York as suddenly as he disappeared. He sounds more and more like a con man to me. Personally, I went to go visit Melody afterwards and have a look around her husband's office and possessions, which is where I found the armband. Another curiosity was his notepad. The word Kethnos was written upon it. I feel more research awaits in my near future. Sitting in his chair, holding his pen, I tried to get an impression of where he might be. A stone tower with many spires set against a purple sky, winged things flapping around its summit, screams of many, many people growing louder, all consuming terror and chaos. Until Melody brought me back to my senses, she said I was the one that had been screaming. Little wonder after what I saw. Tonight, there's a meeting of this league. Our group is planning on going, or some of us anyway. I may have to strap my right arm down for that one. It has a nasty reflex action of punching someone in the mouth when they start spouting too much bullshit. Thinking of that purple sky, though, it's a phenomenon that normally happens before the likes of a typhoon or a hurricane. Maybe that feeling I had this morning was right. Maybe it's a storm that's coming.
Awesome. So, yeah, you guys have all started to make your way back from your various missions to go search places back at Bargles. The meeting for the League of Forgotten Men starts at 7 p.m. in Brooklyn. So you're probably heading back to Bargles at around about kind of 5:30, around that kind of aiming time. So late afternoon.
I think we were actually aiming for 5.
Oh, you're aiming for 5? Perfect. So, yep. So you guys are making your way back. Milton, as you come in, the Sam at the front desk sort of perks up with, Mr. Blake, we actually have a letter for you. It looks like it's marked urgent. Overnight delivery?
Okay, that can't be anything we're looking into at the minute. Yeah, sure, I'll take it.
And he hands you an envelope, and on the top of it, it has Slaughter Institute of Parapsychology Studies, Woodstock, New York.
Right, May 7th, I think it's a 7, 1935. Dear Milton, I feel as if we're cursed. Here we are, nestled in the quiet hills, where trouble should be a distant thing indeed. However, 2 weeks ago, one of our resident subjects, Graham Tolhurst, disappeared. No one is a prisoner here, as you well know, and none of the subjects are required to live here while we conduct our studies. Of course, some of the most promising are not, well, let's just say, the most well-adjusted of people. So perhaps I should expect the occasional unannounced departure. We had another last October, the same sort of thing. The subject, Natalia Thimble, just up and left in the middle of the night. No one in town claimed to have seen her pass through, nor did anyone see Evan Bain when he left in June. Of course, you remember shy little Anne Yardley and how we found her missing in September 1933. I know Anna wasn't the first subject to disappear, but she was the first that really took us aback. Even worse, now I'm seeing the ghosts too. You recall the sightings that some of the subjects reported of American Indians stalking the halls at night, peering in at them in their beds? It's all certainly eerie, though we were never able to verify anything. As I say, though, now I've seen them too. Perhaps it's the strain and restless slumber. My last good sleep was the night that Graham vanished. I actually overslept, which I never do. I'm sorry to bother you with all this, but I'm just at a loss. Perhaps we are haunted, and that's why subjects keep running off. I wish Director Nesbitt was still here. I miss his passion, though that's what led him to going into the Catskill Mountains and never returning. So this is all my responsibility now. I've dreaded asking, but I would really use your knack for getting to the bottom of things. I perfectly understand if you haven't the time or inclination. Sincerely, Yvonne Callisham. You know, when I see Yvonne next, I'm going to have to get her to work on her cursive.
And as obviously you've finished reading that, the others make their way into Bargles as well.
Right. Hello, everyone, then.
Oh, good afternoon, Milton. How are you?
Yeah, not bad. Interesting follow-up. And, I'm sure the saying applies on my side of the pond. I'm fairly sure it applies here, too. It never rains, it pours.
Yep.
Well, I mean, I have the good news that I didn't find any Brendan Sterling. I had a look at quite a few corpses. None of them were him. No John Does in the hospitals that were him. So I think we're good.
That's a good start. A good sign, at least.
Well, if he ran off with some woman, he could have run out of state. He could have just left.
Under any normal circumstances, I'd say if we weren't busy, I've got something that might be interesting to have a look into, but might have to wait if we've got a missing dentist on our hands. Yeah,
What happened?
I'll pass around.
Oh, wow.
I'll pass around the letter.
Oh.
Interesting.
Another case already.
They taught me a thimble.
When it rains, it pours indeed.
Ghosts of American Indians. I wonder what tribes are prevalent in that part of the country. Iroquois. I don't think Narragansett.
I think in the Woodstock area, that's near the upper Hudson, mid-Hudson, they would be in the Iroquois Confederacy, but not Iroquois themselves. Onondaga, perhaps.
I definitely need to read up on my tribes.
I see the watermark for overnight delivery, so sounds like Yvonne's in a bit of a panic.
She's never one to do anything slowly.
Keeper, is Yvonne a mutual friend of all of ours, or just Milton?
Nah, just Milton's the only one that knows Yvonne. You may have heard of the Institute, but
I was just going to ask if not heard of the Institute of Parapsychology. So they're actually trying to study to see if this stuff is real. Yes.
She's the closest thing to a professional you can get in our kind of burgeoning field.
Does she have a background in like actual psychology?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
She.
Because I've met a lot of clergymen that don't know a damn thing about the Bible.
Yeah, I can think a lot of them. A lot of the showmen who claim to know a few passages.
Well, Milton, I mean, Native American ghosts, I find that extremely, I mean, it's just right up my alley. It's calling to me. That's amazing.
There's also no reason why we can't have more than one case that we're working on at a time.
Ghosts in general for me are fine, Native American or otherwise.
I just find it, I think it would be interesting to see what sort of studies they're doing at this parapsychology place. I'd like, what are they researching?
And Milton, this Nesbitt fellow, he wandered off into the hills some time ago?
Yeah, apparently so. Name doesn't ring a bell to me, unless the great God in the sky said otherwise.
She may have mentioned him in passing. He was the man who started the Institute, so he was the director before Yvonne took over. But he was gone before you arrived.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
gotcha.
Well, on other business, who is going to go to the meeting tonight? I really can't go. I can't be seen there.
I'll go, but I need to stop off at the Anvil and pick up
face cream,
change of clothes.
Mm-hmm. As much as I hate bigotry, I'm a sucker for free food and drink.
Oh, someone said free drink. I'm there.
As you know yourselves, gentlemen, I'm not very well read myself, so our endeavor at the library wasn't too fruitful. We found out about the president of the League of Forgotten Gentlemen is a fella called Ross Seabrook. Have I got that right, Keeper? And I imagine he's going to be there tonight. So he'll be the patriarch.
And you think this is some sort of a fascist group, yeah?
Oh, most definitely.
We saw pictures, a few of them, and yeah.
Do you think anti everybody, anti-black, anti-Jewish?
They're definitely they definitely seem to be white is the best from what we've read. And if I recall correctly, is Oscar Kelgrove, is he not Jewish?
Yeah.
So that would be more fuel to the fire.
And speaking of Oscar, does the word Loma ring any bells for any of you?
I think there's a whiskey in Ireland named after that.
Most likely be a location, not an individual or an entity.
Someplace
Oh, I
in
was
Europe.
thinking-
I was thinking it was like an abbreviation of someone saying hello to their mother.
Loma.
Would an occult roll yield anything, or?
Yeah, it'd have to be a very good one, but you can give it a crack.
And that is a no. I didn't even pass it.
What's
How
it called?
about
Like
a geology roll?
No.
Geography roll.
When
might
it
as
gets
well
to
if it's at 5%. Nope, that's an 82.
I'll try
I'm
it.
pretty sure it's an off-brand of whiskey back in Ireland.
I think you're thinking of Lochmar.
Ah, you're right. It is Lochmar.
No, why, Doc?
Something Oscar said about the unusual pendant our dubious hypnotist friend uses.
the
Something
one
we'll
from-
follow up with some proper research.
The one from the picture.
Yeah, the one from the advertisement, yes.
Right. Well, who else is going to this festive event tonight?
Well, like I say,
It's like-
if someone's offering free booze, I'll drink them under the table. So I'm definitely making them for running at a loss.
Gotta put your money where your mouth is, Melton.
Well, it's got to have some use for money after all.
I'm personally undecided. I don't tend to mix well with plebeians under the best of circumstances. I expect they're all clean-shaven, buff fellows wearing tight trousers and whatnot. I tend to stand out, I find, somehow.
I find the best way around things is if you feel backed into a corner, just nod your head and smile.
True.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Just like that.
Just like that.
Well, Doc, I'm gonna go before the meeting. I'm gonna stop off at the anvil and put the armor on underneath my clothes, and just in case, you never know. But if we do run into this Argus fellow there, you might want to analyze him.
The salient point. Perhaps I'll accompany you to Brooklyn, and we'll decide immediately whether I should enter the Great Hall of Buffoonery or wait without.
The monkey house at the zoo. So, what was that fella's name? That was the head orangutan, Russ someone.
There's Ross Seabrook.
Seabrook.
And Keeper, wasn't he described exactly as we imagined?
Ross, yeah, pretty much. He's white. For some of the images you saw in the paper, he is kind of mid-40s, you'd probably guess. And he was he used to work with a man called Bishop Prang, who had a radio show, and very much this is the radio show that blasts out the negativity of every other race and culture and religion and everything other than white and Christianities.
Hate speech.
I couldn't get the name of that other guy again. Sorry, Zane.
Bishop Prang.
And I'm sure
Bishop
it's white
Prang.
Protestant Christianities.
And he's an actual religious figure or just a radio host?
He'd like to think he's a legitimate religious
Right,
figure.
okay.
Is
Yeah.
Bishop just his name?
No one's checked. Those who ask somehow, don't get seen
Ask
much
questions.
more anymore.
Well, I should be really interested to know what you guys see.
Why don't you just dress down, throw on some blue jeans and a t-shirt, and come?
I'm not allowed at this point. I have to stay in black. I don't take off my... Sorry.
Yeah, then maybe it would be better for you not to.
Well, and I would never want anybody to see me go there and then say, but you're in the church, you're not supposed to go to something like that. And I'd be like...
Whereas
You could just wear white over the top of what you're wearing.
Yeah, I can't.
I have certain fashion commitments. I will not be seen dead without a bow tie. So there's certain lines that I will not cross.
Certain fascist commitments. That's why we're going.
Cool. So it sounds like Demiel is going to stay back at Bargles. Is there anything you wanted to do, Demi, while the others are gallivanting around town?
Well, you've mentioned both Lomar and this Kethnos. Kethnos definitely sounds Greek, but I don't know the word. I could ask around and see if I could find out from anybody if they know what these places are. Maybe go to the library and check out
Sure.
See if I can find Lomar on the map.
Yeah, so you can head off to the New York State Library.
Maybe the university. I could talk
Okay,
to the people there.
Yeah.
See if they know anything.
So you
All
can
right,
go-
that's my mission. I get the fun missions. I get to go look at the dead bodies, and I get to go look at the dead languages.
Cool. And then the rest of you are going to head off to Brooklyn to attend the meeting of the League of Forgotten Men. But you're going to make a quick stop off at the Anvil for Wyatt to kit up, as it were.
Should we meet back here tomorrow morning for breakfast? Is that a good
Very
idea?
civilized.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah, I could do with a fry in the morning.
And then I put my body armor underneath my clothing.
Do we need to take any precautions? Make sure people know where you've gone. Well, I know where you've gone, so.
I mean, just play our cards close to our chests and should be fine.
Any secret passwords to make sure we're not taken over by Satan?
Kathnos.
A weird enough word that no one else is going to say it in ordinary conversation.
All right.
We don't think there's any reason to be concerned for Mrs. Sterling's well-being, do we? You saw nothing, Milton, for example, near their home that would suggest that she's in any sort of predicament other than recently impoverished by an unfaithful spouse?
Well, no, nothing that kind of implicates her directly. I think this has all been focused on A, the money, and B, him. So not often you find the fairer sex involved in fascist hate groups.
It's also very possible, however, that because of our meddling, that she might come into danger. So we have to be careful of that. I mean, they might have set this whole thing up specifically to make it look like he's just a cad and he ran off. But once we start poking at it and it becomes something more dangerous, then we might have to tell her, might have to find a way for her to get her away somewhere.
You have a phone in the flat, do you, Demi?
Oh, yeah. So it's a very nice flat.
Yeah, perhaps you'll check in with her at some point in the evening and make sure that she's...
I'll do that. I'll do that tonight.
I think I might take that along just to be on the safe side when we go to this meeting as well.
Sure. All right. Well, let's. So just to double check, Damiel, you're gonna head to the university.
I'll go to the university. Yes.
Okay. Cool. No worries. So the rest of you, you go via the Anvil, and then you guys pull up. I'm assuming you're just taking a cab over to Brooklyn. When you pull up, it's sort of down it's probably in the less well-off area of Brooklyn. It's a bit shadier. As the cab driver stops about a block away from where you're meant to go, and he sort of turns back to you and goes, listen, guys, I'm not judging you, but I don't want to be seen down that neck of the woods, so I'm going to have to let you out here.
You know, it's a good neighborhood when.
Yeah. Do cabs often stop down here so we can get back?
Are you asking the cab driver?
Cab driver, yeah.
Hey, listen, pal. Like I said, not all of us agree with what's going on down there and things. So, yeah, you might be lucky, but like I said, I ain't judging you. I ain't judging.
So
That's right. Neither are we. Some of us don't agree with what stuff's going on down there either.
Gents, before we get out of the cab, gents, you say maybe an hour there, roughly.
I guess normally an hour. Yeah, kind of hard to tell until we get in there.
Don't these right-wing lunatics tend to go on and on and on because they like to hear their own subliterate speech at great length?
I pay the gentleman the fare. I give him the normal tip, and I tell him I'm prepaying the fare for you to pick us up in, say, an hour and 15 minutes. Meet us right on this corner. If we're not here, come back in another half hour. If we're still not here, go home. If you see us, I will pay you an additional fare. So you're getting your fare, your tip, a fare plus the additional fare home.
Give me a credit racing.
Does that sound fair? I was gonna say credit rating. Exactly 35 out of 35.
Okay, so yeah, that's gonna it'll skint you out. But he kind of looks at the money and things, and he's like, okay, but listen, guys, if you ain't here, I'm out of here. Okay, that's getting late. I got the missus is gonna have dinner on the table. I gotta bring something back.
Well,
yeah, no worries.
On the way home, you could bring her a nice steak or a chop.
Yeah. So I'm assuming after that you exit the cab and make the kind of the short walk down to the end of the street. Once you get to the end of the street, you see a small, maybe 2-story building, the community hall there for this particular area. There's a couple of men, working class men, kind of standing around. Some of them are smoking, and they're all discussing. There's a couple jovial conversations. They glance up at you, but they don't kind of show you too much heed. You do notice that all of them wear white armbands. Yeah, do you guys want to give me some spot hiddens?
As we're walking on, Milton, just like you were saying before, all these damn immigrants coming through and just kind of saying it loud to.
Yeah.
That's a hard pass.
I failed.
Hard success also.
I think I've got 2 points under a hard.
Okay. And who has the lowest luck?
85.
96.
99.
70. Good heavens, what a crowd I'm in.
All right. Marsden, you're going to be giving me a luck roll, please.
Very close. 67 for 70. Just snuck in.
All right. Perfect. Okay. So those of you who passed your spot hidden, you will notice that there seems to be a man walking around with in his fedora. He's got like a reporter's sort of thing on the side, and he has a camera slung over his chest, and he is taking photos of groups of men standing there. Marsden notices this just in the nick of time and pulls the 4 of you out of the way as the man kind of turns and walks past you, saving yourself from appearing on the front page the next morning, because your lovely dilettante is a public figure. Just the person they'd love to see at one of these meetings.
The way to stay happy is to not read the news. If I don't know about it, it doesn't bother me.
And you just know that if Brother Demi had been here, he'd turn directly into the Flash.
Oh, 100%.
And get a stern phone call in the morning from his superior.
Aye.
Now, Keeper, is there some vantage point where I can watch this enterprise from without and avoid the thugs on the perimeter?
So the way that the street is, like I said, a lot of men are kind of leaning against the cars out the front and things like that. Your best bet, I guess, you could go across the street to there's a diner across the street, like not a fancy place in any shape or form, but you could watch from over there if you wanted to. But you'd be hard pressed to you wouldn't be able to see into the community hall without going in.
I imagine their coffee is interestingly execrable. I think I shall have a great deal of dessert, pie, and coffee in there. You gentlemen can fire a flare out if there's an emergency. I have a feeling I'll be trampled during some nightmarish cacophony inside.
Just be careful on your own out here. I'm a little worried about you, Doc.
I find the ethnographic environment quite titillating, actually. Such curious types you see in neighborhoods like this.
It's almost as you sort of tell him to be careful, you hear it. As you turn to the side, you see a small, wiry man with a shock of red hair, and he's got next to him is a young man. You'd probably say kind of late teens, and he's got a massive stack of books in his arms. And the man behind you sort of goes, sorry, gentlemen, I just happened to notice that you must be new here without the armband, so I wanted to come over and introduce myself. My name is Louis Finelli. And he goes around and shakes your hand. He goes, and as he shakes your hand, he places one of the books in your hand as well, and places a white armband on top of it. He goes, we're always happy to have new brothers join the cause. Well, you've made it on the perfect night tonight. Ross is going to be doing a talk. We're going to be discussing this new book that we're all very excited about. And yeah. So we welcome. Hey, fellas. And he kind of gestures over to some of the other men who are kind of standing around and goes, hey, we got new brothers. Show them a good time, huh? Show them where the tea and coffee and whatnot is. And have a great night, fellas.
I will definitely take some of the whatnot.
Thank you very much, Louis. So the president here already, then?
What is this book?
It's called Mein Kampf.
Oh, wow.
Whoever wrote it knows German. Yeah, they're never bad guys.
Anya, just smile and nod and we'll be okay, fellas. Just smile and nod.
Eileen, the people are away from us, right?
Yeah, some of them have kind of come over and sort of just and said, "Oh, look, yeah, if you go down there, go through into the main hall, you'll find a table off to the left there. Just right, you can get your tea and coffee." And one of them says, "Oh yeah, there's also the sign-in book. We all sign in. You write your name and address down there. It's got all the members. You just go and chuck your name down there, and then that way we can send you correspondence of new updates in the newsletter, that kind of thing."
Got it. And I kind of got your book, Milton. I kind of when like that pissed off looking face, kind of like.
Mhm.
And I
Indeed.
slap him.
Yeah.
Makes a good placemat. Have something to set our coffee on.
I walk over and I sign in Scott Simon.
Cool.
Yeah, I go over and sign John Dory.
A.N. other.
And Marsden, did you still want to try and slip away?
I think that now that we've been introduced properly, I'll make a greater scene bustling away. So I think I can come up with a properly insulting epigram in Latin as a pseudonym. Something about stultus, I think. And an address just off Corlear's Hook in the East River.
The four of you can all give me spot hiddens, please.
That I passed finally.
That's another hard pass for me.
Normal here.
Normal.
Milton?
Yeah, just a normal one.
All right. So, Owen, as you're signing your fake name down there, you sort of swing through some of the pages, and you see Ferdinand Argus and Leopold Fontanelli marked down right next to each other, and the name Brendan Sterling. They're all you managed to spot the names all listed there, and they all have address listed after them, except Ferdinand's seems to have been like blacked out, like someone's gone over
Obfuscated.
Yeah.
And that's Ferdinand's it's been.
Yeah. But you have Leopold's and Brandon's. I mean, you had Brandon's.
So Brandon's using the address that he's abandoned.
Brandon's using his apartment.
Yeah,
The one
fellas.
that he lives at with Melody.
Looks like we've struck lucky here already. I think that all three of them have arrived together.
Well, they're here now, or does this mean that they were just here in the past?
This is looks like from about a month or so back. This is their full, this is their members book. So they just come in, and that's why they're saying new members come in, put your name and address, and they'll send you.
Oh, sorry. I thought it was like a sign-in, sign-out book. That's my bad.
That's what I was going to ask, if it was from today's signatures. All right.
That would be too easy.
Yeah. Pro investigators.
Right. Well, as you guys are kind of getting your tea and coffee and whatnot at the community hall and listening to some of the highly intellectual conversations going on with the groups of people around, I'll jump over to Damiel, who's just arrived at the university, and what would you like to do?
Well, I think first I will go speak with whoever languages. Hopefully, it's already past. It's probably around 6 o'clock. I'll see if any of the professors live on campus that would know Greek. It looks like a Greek word to me.
Okay.
So. Professor, Professor Konstantinos Papadopoulos. Yeah.
Yes, Professor Papadopoulos. He, luckily enough, is still in his office. He happens to be grading some papers, and he, as you knock on the door, yes, enter.
Herete, Professor. How are you this evening?
I'm well. What do I owe the pleasure?
Well, I am a researcher. I am doing some work for an investigation group, and we've run across a word that we don't know. And I'm Greek, so I don't know the word. It's very odd, but it definitely sounds Greek. The word is kethnos, and I write it out. the way it sounds like it should be spelled. Kethnos.
He looks at the the writing and kind of peruses some of his books and things.
I'm pretty sure I heard it correctly. It's not ethnos. Ethnos is nation or country.
Yeah, that he sort of he makes the same sort of statements, and he kind of like, are you sure this was the correct spelling? It doesn't. Yes.
It doesn't make any sense. Also, there's another word, lomar.
Lomar. And again, he kind of does a little bit more checking and things like that. And after maybe 15, 20 minutes, he goes, I'm sorry, I don't have any answers for you. This is not something that's
well, considering you have lexicons and there's nothing, then it must not be Greek.
Sounds like it's maybe used inspiration from. Is it possibly? Where did you hear this word?
Actually, I heard it from one of the other investigators. I didn't actually see it. Apparently, I forget. Was it written in something? It was written in something. Perhaps it's a last name. I don't know.
Maybe. I was thinking maybe cold, but yes, no,
or a place. I don't know a place like this. Yeah. Well, anyways, thank you very much.
Oh, my pleasure.
It's very nice to meet you. We probably sit and talk about family for a bit.
Yeah.
Because it's Greeks.
Yes. Whereabouts are you from originally?
I'm originally. My family migrated to the United States when I was 21, but originally Philly in Attica, in Greece.
Yes.
From the mountains.
My family is from Crete.
Oh, you're from the island, yeah.
Yes. But I come here for opportunity,
Well, I'm going to the seminary in Yonkers.
Yes, a very honorable profession.
Well, I'm currently a ipodiakoniso, subdeacon. Yes. I haven't been ordained to the priesthood yet, but we'll see. Well, I don't want to keep you any longer. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Thank you for dropping in. It was my pleasure. Sorry I couldn't help more.
If I need any more help, I'll come back and ask. Thank you.
Yeah, please do.
And I leave.
Was there anyone else, or did you want to go to the library, or?
It's not a Greek word. I mean, Greek lexicons are like that big. They have ancient Greek, every Greek word ever. Well, let's see. I'll look in the local phone book to see if there's any Kethnos or Lomar.
Okay. Give me a luck roll.
78. Oh wait, that's pass.
You find one Kethnos.
Really?
And you find 2 Lomars.
Really? Okay, I will write down their phone numbers and their addresses if the addresses are in the phone book.
The addresses for the Lomars are in the book, but they're not the Kethnos.
Okay. But there's a phone number?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. I have my prize. I will go home.
Okay, back to Bargles. All right, let's jump back over to our League of Forgotten Men group.
Well, actually, I'm going to go make a phone call to Mrs. Sterling. I forgot I was going to do that.
Oh, yes, we'll do that quickly. So the phone rings, almost one ring. And yes, hello?
Mrs. Sterling, this is Damio Dracos.
I thought it might have been Brandon. How are you, Damiel? Is there any news?
Well, no, there's not any news so far, but we are turning up some information. We're doing the investigation. I just wanted to check and see how you are.
Oh, I'm fine. Yes.
All right.
I'm just trying to tidy things up. And Oscar Kilgrave, he rang. The society are taking care of all my financial needs until we can work out what's happened to Brandon.
I would like you to do something quietly for me, more for you. In our investigation just today, we have noticed that there is a connection with I think it's a fascist, possibly white supremacist group. We don't have a solid connection there, but I don't want there to be anything that causes you any danger. So what I would like you to do is keep it in the back of your head that we might need to have you go somewhere for your own safety. So if you have relatives somewhere, or you have any place we can send you where they couldn't find you.
Yes, I suppose so, yes.
It's for your safety. And it might not happen, but we'll keep you informed. It might be nothing.
Okay.
But
And
your safety is most important to us.
You think Brandon was involved with fascists?
Well, you mentioned the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen.
The League of Forgotten Men, yes.
The League of Forgotten Men, yes. Apparently they're a little bit shadier than what we originally thought.
Brandon just told me that was a new social club that he was attending. They're fascists.
A little bit more than yes, they're very anti. Well, I don't know. Some of us have gone to check that out tonight.
Well, look, don't put yourselves in danger by any means.
We're not in danger. Don't worry about that. I just don't want there to be any repercussions if they. I mean, my thought is that perhaps Brandon, if something happened to Brandon. Oh, by the way, I should tell you, I did check all of the morgues and all of the hospitals, and we did not find Brandon. So that's good.
Oh, thank God.
He's not there. But if anything should happen, we just want to be able to make sure you're safe.
Much appreciated, but I just want Brandon back.
Well, I will keep you informed. I'll call you tomorrow if we learn anything more. All right? You have a good evening.
You too.
Good night.
So once you've done this, it's probably round about
7, 8.
Yeah, 7:30.
I'm gonna head back to our apartment in.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, you live not too far up, not at Bargles, a little bit away from Bargles.
Up the road with Owen.
Owen, yeah. So back at our group at the League, after probably about half an hour from when you guys entered and sort of mingled around, as I said, people seem to be having very enlightened conversations with each other, using very colorful ways to describe certain races and so on and so forth. You guys do your best to sort of not show any opinion, via your face and whatnot. Eventually, there's a man, quite solidly built man. Owen and Wyatt, you would recognize this as Ross Seabrook. Kind of makes his way up to the stage and to the podium at the head of the thing, and people start to take seats and whatnot. Yeah, you're muted.
How many total people are here? Just so I can get a estimated.
You'd probably say kind of near 100 and counting.
Wow. Okay.
There's still more guys coming in the doors and mingling around. You would definitely feel outnumbered. Yeah. And as Marsden said previously, the men that are here tend to be working class, very solidly built, sturdy, would hurt a fly. So Ross Seabrook kind of gets to the head of the podium and takes a few moments and looks around at everyone. And yes, Milton?
One question. There was mention of the whatnot earlier. Do they have booze?
Yes, yeah, there is. There's a couple of there's a crate full of bottles of beer, and a couple of bits of whiskey and things like that. Yeah.
Keeping my eye on where the bottle of whiskey is, or bottles.
Sure.
And how bad is the coffee?
You've had worse, but it's definitely not Bargle's quality. It kind of has the texture like it's been scraped off the bottom of the Mississippi River.
As long as it's strong, that can be engaging. And is the seating, is there seating, or is it standing room, or is it rows?
A bit of both. There's seats like lined up like almost like a theater, just like fold out chairs. There's those. There's chairs off to the side, kind of around tables. Some men are choosing to kind of stand and whatnot. If you would like to go find a seat, you're more than welcome to.
And this is a rental hall?
Community hall, yeah.
All right.
Sorry, I was going to say, I purposely stay next to Marsden. I don't let him with more than 10 feet away from me at any time.
Sure. So Miss Seabrook kind of gets to the head of the podium. Thank you, brothers. Thank you for coming to this here meeting of the League of Forgotten Men. Now, I must say, over the past couple of months, New York has become what I call a pest zone. Now, look, people always say that we are racists. We are not racists. We're just not blind. You see, we believe in America for Americans. And this kind of goes on, and he does a full spiel on this, and things get kind of more and more, kind of harder to swallow. And I'm gonna need POW checks from all of you that don't feel the same way to see how well you compose yourselves.
That's a hard pass.
I'm going to burn 13 luck and pass that.
Oh, that's
right.
I rolled an 8 for an 80. I'm used to hiding my disgust for lesser humans.
Yeah. Owen's just like, he's kind of like dully looking off in the distance. I
have to burn 2 luck.
Okay, so Milton and White, you guys maybe shift a little bit uncomfortably, but you kind of pay it off of like, oh, I'm a bit stiff.
My back.
But definitely the slop that is coming out of this man's mouth, and the raucous agreement and replies from the men around you. This talk goes on for probably 15-20 minutes, and then he gestures for Louis, who you met before with the book, to come up, and Louis kind of comes up and whispers something to his ear, and he goes, I understand we have some new brethren joining us this evening. And every eye in the place turns and clocks, and clocks where you guys are all standing there. And Seabrook says, welcome, gentlemen. We always,
thank you very much.
We always like new blood, new believers.
Since I'm already distinguishable because you're not going to miss this face, I'll stand up to make it a point to put more eyes on me and off of the other group, and introduce myself. Scott.
Yep, 1 second. Can you give me a luck roll, Owen?
What if my luck is literally 99?
Still roll
You're
100.
fine.
Oh, sweet. That's,
Oh, yeah,
that's
yeah.
true. I rolled a 7.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. So that Wyatt doing that seems to. A couple of people were kind of looking at Owen at first, like, don't I? And then Wyatt stood up, and they were like, ugh. That took some of the heat off. But they said, once you've stood, Wyatt, they're like, yes. Do you have anything to say, brother?
Look at my face. Gang of undesirables did this to me years ago. I'm with you.
And a few of them clap and kind of like cheer and say, kind of give you a pat on the back and whatnot. And Seabrook kind of squint, like kind of narrows his eyes a little bit and then smiles and goes, yes. And you're stronger for it, aren't you?
100%. Thank you for your work.
And he sort of gestures for Louis to kind of take over, and Louis gets up there with his copy of Mein Kampf, and he kind of says, so, gentlemen, we're going to talk about this book that just come in. Now, this guy's a visionary from Germany, okay? Adolf Hitler. This guy knows exactly what... This guy's got the right idea. Seabrook kind of steps down, and you can see he's kind of starting to make his way over to your little group, and he goes, gentlemen, wanted to say thank you in person for coming. We haven't had new members for a while, so I wanted to personally come over and thank you for joining the cause.
I extend a hearty handshake.
Yes, thank you very much for having us, Mr. Seabrook. It's an honor to be here.
Yeah, it's my pleasure, my pleasure. Yeah.
How long are you going to be sticking around for?
Oh, I'm here all night. Was there anything you'd like to learn about the League? Is there anything I can enlighten you with? You seem pretty enlightened gentlemen already.
I like the sense of camaraderie here. I like the unity, the purity, if you will.
Yeah, I understand. Yes.
Yeah, go ahead.
I did myself some of my studies in Zurich, in Switzerland, in the fresh, clean alpine air. I find it very cleansing to the mind.
Ah, yes, yeah.
This is a smile, right? This is a smile?
You can see, you give me spot hidden, the four of you.
It's a big failure on that.
Extreme success.
Regular pass for me.
And a hard from me.
Okay, so those of you who passed, all of you that passed will notice all of a sudden that there seems to be a guy that seems to be a few steps behind Seabrook at all times. And he's quite a tall man, very, very well built. And even from this distance, you can see quite bad bruising and scarring on his knuckles. And he sort of stands behind a few steps back, and he's eyeing you all up suspiciously. Like he seems very at the ready. You would probably guess this is Seabrook's guard detail. This is his muscle. This guy, looks like kind of mob enforcer level kind of looking dude. Those who got the extreme, it was Marsden, correct? You noticed that Lethbridge. Oh, so you are Lethbridge. You noticed that Seabrook and this guy, and actually a few of the other guys around, all with the white armband, but they all have a lapel pin. And it's a few of them have it, but it seems to resemble the same tree, the Lomar shape. It doesn't have the gem in it. It's just like just very small sized. But from where you're standing, you catch it and realize that a few of the men have this pin to their lapel.
I say, Mr. Seabrook, one of the ways that I heard about your engaging enterprise here was a fellow that I know from Manhattan, Mr. Sterling, who is interested himself in esoteric knowledge, if you will. Have you any interest, would you say, Mr. Seabrook, in the esoteric?
Oh, that's a big fail on his part. He visibly darkens at the mention of Sterling and esoteric and those things. He darkens, and you hear behind the guy. You almost hear the muscles tighten and the clicking of the knuckles.
And at this point, I'm going to say, because we were trying to talk with him, but he didn't seem as receptive. That's why we came here. We want to clean up our neighborhood. You know what I mean? Like, we need to clean it. It's not. Look at. Like, I think we're in the right place.
So
I'm trying to.
Yeah. How'd you say you knew Sterling again?
We know him from a group, an organization, a club in Manhattan. We're in the same club.
Huh.
Gentleman's thing, you know.
Right. And you say you're interested in what was it? Esoteric?
Let's say the leader is one of the not so pure. We want to take over the club.
It's at this point the big guy behind Seabrook sort of steps forward and whispers something into Seabrook's ear. Give me listen checks.
Hard.
I'm going to spend a luck point to make that hard as well.
Just a regular pass.
For those of you got hard, hear the name Kilgrave. He whispers to Seabrook, Kilgrave, and Seabrook kind of looks a club, huh?
I think that my friend Scott and I, we're associates of some years. I think we were discussing two things at once, as it were. There's a club in Manhattan called Bargles that we belong to, as you see. Broad social.
Yeah, I've heard of Bargles. Yeah.
Yes. The esoteric interests are quite personal. I like to see, the real truth behind historical falsities, that sort of thing.
Right. You must excuse me, but I have a few things to attend to. I'm sure I'll see you gentlemen around, possibly at the next meeting. And he sort of he walks off. The man behind him sort of stares you down for what a bit longer. And if he was looking suspicious before, now he's downright like he's eyeballing each and every single one of you. You can almost see the cogs flicking around in his head, steam coming out his ears because it's such an overload to think harder than he normally does.
Want to scan him visually for weapons?
He's like he's got
Here's the weapon.
Like he's not hiding it. He's got like his jacket's off. You can see the gun holster there, and he's got like a baton strapped to kind of one side and things like. This guy's like that's his purpose, 100%. But like I said, a few moments and then he kind of turns and follows after Seabrook. Everyone else seems to still be distracted by what's going on with the talk of Mein Kampf. People have started to get up and read extracts, and people are cheering and in agreement and so on and so forth. Give me spot hiddens, all of you.
I was going to say, as he walks away, I will stage whisper to Lethbridge in Latin. Says, I realised where he's got his scratched hands from. It's where he drags his knuckles along the ground.
Nice.
That's a big old fail.
That is another hard pass.
Nothing from me.
Okay, so Owen, Milton is sort of obviously having the conversation with Marsden through the whisper and so on and so forth, and Wyatt is kind of probably busy looking around, seeing if he can catch anything else. Owen, you notice as Seabrook gets to the door at the back, he stops and kind of leans over to a couple of men and then points back in your direction. And a group of about 6 guys will look up and look over to you and slowly get up and start to make their way across the room to where you guys are.
You're muted.
Evening, gents. Can I pour you a couple drinks?
Okay, so you're going to let them come up to you. Okay, cool, fair enough. Without even like the one that you kind of go, evening, gents, and he grabs you by the scruff of the shirt, and each 6 of these guys grab the 4 of you, take you to the door. This obviously causes everyone in the room to kind of stops what they're doing and stares, and everyone turns, and you're all being very, very roughly picked up and thrown out the door of the community hall and kind of roll down the steps. Unless you want to try and fight back.
I'm not letting anyone touch the suit. I'm dodging the like hell out of the way.
Okay, yes, yep, you can dodge. I just need to bring up my goons.
Oh,
here we go. Okay, so yeah, one of the goons has got. What'd you get, Milton?
I'm contemplating burning a lot of luck because I just want to do it for effect that I don't want them to touch the suit. Because you can't. I presume this is a combat, so it won't. I can't.
It'll be a fighting brawl, yeah.
Oh, well, I've got dodge rather than fighting brawl.
Yes,
I'm deliberately not fighting back. How much have I got? I've got lucky for a reason. I'll burn 31 points of luck.
So yeah, he sort of goes to kind of grab it, and you sort of like slap his hands down and back away. A couple of the guys, they sort of
down with that.
yeah. He kind of ow.
Yeah,
a couple of them sort of
no one lays a hand on me.
If he touches me, I'm just gonna discharge my I have my armor on, so I'm grounded. I'll just discharge my electricity.
That's in your. So you'd have to unravel the.
Yeah. All I would have to do. Remember, once my armor's on, I'm grounded. So he's touching me. All I got to do is press the button.
Okay, so you're
I'm not gonna do like to kill the guy, but just to like
okay.
stagger him.
Do your fighting brawl then? So you're fighting back.
20 on the nose, so that is it's a hard.
Okay, he got an extreme. He got a 3.
But all he needs to do is touch me, and the electricity goes.
Yeah,
through.
he'll take some of the charge, but he's a big brute of a guy, and he's just gone, ugh, and he's still picking you up, and seems to be.
Wouldn't he need to make a power check or something, or a? Remember, it's versus stun.
Yeah. Okay. So what? So he's done his fighting brawl. So that means he's managed to pick you up.
Right. I was letting him. I wasn't fighting back. I wanted him to touch me.
His power check he passes.
All right.
So yeah, he takes the shock, but he's pissed off and angry enough that from that he's
right.
Yeah. So he's grabbed you, Milton. You've managed to kind of back one off. Owen and Marsden, what did you guys want to do?
Going to be as light as possible and try to land it gently.
Okay, Owen.
Owen's just going to be dancing about saying, "What, you don't like whiskey? Is beer more your thing?"
All right,
and
so dodge.
Yeah, if possible, for flavor effect, try and slap the hat off his head.
Okay, so you're gonna fight back.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just a wee play slap. Let me see, brawl. You know what? I'll burn 7 luck to make that a hard.
Okay, he got a hard as well, so he's the aggressor. So you could, if you want to burn more and make it an extreme, you can beat him. But
no, we'll just keep it at hard for now.
Okay, so he manages to you slap his hat off, but to get that close to him, he manages to grab you around the neck, and he literally is just dragging you along by your head at this point. So Wyatt, Marsden, and Owen are unceremoniously being kind of dragged out the door. You can hear the guy holding Wyatt grunting like, but he almost every time the charge goes off, Wyatt, he seems to be tightening his grip. It's almost like it's now like a vice.
Do a full charge then?
Yeah, if you want to do a full charge, give me
well, all he has to do is touch me because I'm,
Oh, he's touching you.
Yeah, so I'll just let it go. It'll be 1d4 damage.
Okay.
Because I'm not using the. If I use the staff of the whip, it would be 1d6 plus 4 plus d4. But I'm just using the electricity, so it's d4.
Okay.
And then he has to save versus stun.
Okay, so you want to use the 1d4. All right, let's see how his. He got a 36, which is a pass. So he's. It's hurting him like fuck, but he's like I said, every time you're charging him, it's like a vice-like grip's coming down on you.
I say, Scott, we've got a cab waiting.
He's smoking. Like literally, if you guys are watching, you can see this guy's hands are smoking and whatnot. And there seems to be kind of blue licks of sparks and stuff coming off Wyatt, and getting a couple of strange looks.
Can I use that distraction if that's attracting a bit of attention to
it is,
whiskey?
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Cool. So Marsden and Owen and Wyatt, you guys all, as I say, get thrown out of the door and kind of hit and roll down the stairs. So you can all roll me a 1d4.
My armor protects me?
Yeah. Okay. Well, I mean, it's your armor's more than 4, so
yeah.
Even if you've got mats.
I near break my shin. I take 4 points of damage.
Mm.
Yeah, you fall on your head.
Don't forget to pick up your hat.
I took 4 too. That's rude.
The first thing I'm gonna do, since I'm gonna get Marsden and pick up Doc, and I pick him up and just literally start ushering them towards the cab destination.
Cool.
Was fun.
Milton, you sort of just run out after them and whatnot.
Bottle of whiskey in one hand.
Yeah, the guy who was holding Wyatt sort of like looking at his smoking hands, trying to work out the hell happened there. He kept like shocking me. It was like static electricity, but like stronger.
He's too hot to handle.
I'm gonna take a mental snapshot of his face.
I'm going to have some rather unpleasant bruises tomorrow, but I think that might be better than hearing one more moron read from Mein Kampf.
Do you see that? I got his hat. I'm the real winner here.
What would you guys like to do?
Well, I'd like to incinerate the whole building, but I think we'll just catch that cab and get out of this godforsaken neighborhood. Could use a cup of coffee and perhaps a cold compress.
What you need is half that bottle of whiskey, don't you?
Well, this I was actually planning on giving as a present to the cabbie. To kind of, again, soften the blow of coming back to this shithole.
Now,
Smart thinking.
Is the cab there?
The cab is there. Are you still wearing your white armbands?
Hell no.
No. By the time we walk down.
Okay, good. Yes, he'll let you back in the cabs then. He won't drive off without you.
I'll go over to the driver's side window and kind of lean through and go "Merry Christmas" and hand him the bottle.
Hey, thanks kindly, pal. Yeah. And he kind of takes a quick swig and he goes, "It's pretty good stuff," and then slides it down into kind of the wheel well. So you guys all pile in. What would you like to do now?
Well, once we're in the back, I'm like, Doc, and I start rolling up his pant leg to see if I can do any type of first aid or at least take a look at it.
Yeah, sure. Give me first aid.
I don't have much, but freaking 6.
Cool. So yeah, Marsden, you what is it in pulp? It's
1d4.
Yeah, 1d4.
Marsden, you can roll it since the other one. While I'm doing that, I'm telling him, Doc, we got to work on this weapon. It didn't even do nothing to that monkey.
Well, there's no sense, there's no feeling.
Oh, good point. But I think we just screwed the pooch here.
I would say that this proverbial pooch came to us pre-screwed. We know more or less the sorts of individuals. We've specified or generated further proof of our presumptions about the sort of subhumans with which we're dealing. Furthermore, we know that this Seabrook fellow is actively antagonistic, that they're concerned about Mr. Sterling's whereabouts. I think all things considered. Also, these books will make fine kindling.
I was thinking if I ever ran out of toilet paper, but fair enough.
I was going to use them to roll smokes.
Verify that the ink is not cyanotic before doing so.
I'm assuming
you only
you
live
want
once.
the driver to take you back to Bargles,
Yeah.
and Owen back to your apartment.
I was going to say, Owen, let me look at that eye, and I'll try and if I could do a first aid for him.
Sure.
I will have to spend, 16. I was reading it backwards. I got it.
All right, Owen, 1d4.
That's a D4. So what you're saying here is I pour this directly into my eye.
Well, not directly into your eye, but
For 2 hit points. Thank you very much.
a little cut over your eyebrow there, though.
Cool. So yeah, he drives you all the way back to Manhattan. You give him a generous tip, as you obviously said before. He drops Milton, Wyatt, and Mars back at Bargles, and Owen, he drops you back at the apartment. Was there anything anyone else wanted to do tonight?
I'm going right to my workbench and I'm going to start writing out a schematic for upcharging my weapon.
Okay.
Because I got my adrenaline pumping. I can't sleep. I'm going to just start laying the groundwork for it.
Sure. Are you going to do that all night or?
Well, at least 4 hours of work because
Okay, cool.
after all that and seeing in my eyes it failed. So now I need to back to the drawing board.
Yeah, sure. Okay.
I imagine
Danielle.
also when Owen gets back, he tells me how it went.
I'd assume so, yes.
Yeah, it was pretty fun. Had a few drinks, had a fight.
Really?
Just the regular, yeah.
Did you find out any leads about our Brendan, where he might be?
Nothing in terms of address. There was a sign-in book, and we spotted the name of the hypnotist. Ferdinand Leopold was in there as well, and then what was it? Brandon? That was his name as well, wasn't it?
Brendan Sterling, yes.
Yeah. Funny enough, Ferdinand's address, there was a block for your address. It was obfuscated.
Redacted.
Yeah, like it's what you expect. Went in, a bunch of numbskulls. We got thrown out.
I've got an idea, which something I want to try, but I'm not sure if I need. Well, I might need some help with it. Now, this is a partly a question for the keeper. Can you use hypnosis on yourself, or do you have to have someone else do it to you?
Self-hypnosis? Seems reasonable.
I'd probably.
I believe
Yes.
that's in the book. For some things, like you can get memories back or things.
That's specifically what I'm looking at is memory recollection.
I think that's in the Pulp manual.
Yeah, if you want to give that a go, we can do that. I'm worried for you. Which memories you're trying to pick up?
Okay. But yeah, so as I say to those, I'm planning on doing something. I'd prefer, just in case if anything odd happens, I would prefer if someone was with me just to make sure that nothing bizarre happens to me.
No, I would be most interested to observe scientifically and perhaps even generate some potential mechanisms for assistance in such endeavors.
Huck, why don't you just invite him over to the anvil?
If you'd like to engage in this activity tonight, certainly. I have got Sam's got a carafe of coffee on the go for me.
Sure, yeah. I mean, I don't want the memory to fade particularly or become harder to access. So yeah, I'd rather we do it sooner rather than later.
Oh, very good. Do you think that having various electrically stimulated wiring would impede your ability? I'd like to measure the activity.
To be honest, I have no idea because I've never done it. Not with wiring, that is.
Okay,
His eyes light up.
So Wyatt is off tinkering away in his room at Bargles. Marsden and Milton go off to the anvil to do some hypnosis, whatnot. Owen and Damiel, you guys are probably just what are you guys doing tonight?
Well, I've said my prayers and I'm ready to go to bed.
Nice.
After our conversation.
Yeah, I'd imagine Dammy's filled me in about what he found, like the phone numbers and the addresses and stuff.
Yeah.
I would be at the anvil also because that's where my workshop is.
Oh, so you guys didn't go back to Bargles, then you just went directly to the anvil?
We probably were on our way to Bargles, but in the cab had this conversation, and so
Okay.
off to the anvil to experiment.
So we'll meet for
Science.
breakfast in the morning.
Correct.
Okay. So you guys would have dropped Owen then and headed off to the anvil. So Wyatt, you did your engineering roles. So with your new design and everything, you reckon it's going to probably take you maybe you've got to kind of source a better energy source to be able to kind of get a stronger charge, and you think you'll probably have to, the power of charge that you're wanting, you're going to have to upgrade your suit so that it doesn't, because the danger you're finding is that if you go for a bigger charge, your suit's got to protect you, but also if you're close enough to any of your compatriots, there's potential for them to have some pretty significant damage as well, because it's such a, you're wanting to go such a high level. So you reckon it's going to take you maybe 2 or 3 days, and you've got to find that charge to be able to kind of really make this a devastating weapon.
What I'm hoping is maybe I could put some battery packs into the suit somehow.
Okay. And so you can sort of like have the cord connected. Okay.
No, well, I could have it maybe I could connect it in at the cuff.
Yeah.
And then when I take it off, and it's so it's constantly charged. Right. Yeah.
Okay. Like I said, so you reckon it'll be like 2 or 3 days. You reckon
that's
to kind of work all these bits and pieces out. Marsden and Milton. So Marsden hooks up all these wires and like things and sticks things to Milton's head and makes Milton as comfortable as he can in their kind of very industrial warehouse thing. It's definitely not the creature comforts that are the same as back at Bargles, but it's comfortable enough. And so you would like to kind of go into try and hypnotize yourself.
Yes, I will focus, and if need be, if I need to cut out any noise or have additional focus, I have something to provide a nice steady sound.
Mm-hmm.
My goal is to try and recollect any memory or any feeling that might have immediately preceded that odd feeling that I woke up with this morning, wondering if there was a reason that feeling of impending doom happened and what sparked it.
Okay. Cool. So give me first off, give me a hypnosis check.
Mm-hmm. Come on,
and
dice.
then you're giving me a power check because it's a
yeah, it's opposed against myself,
and it's opposed against yourself. Yeah.
Oh, now what? Now I wish I hadn't got so high a power. I will burn 20 luck
to pass your pal, or
to pass the hypnosis roll.
Okay.
I'm really glad hopefully luck says I get 3d10 plus 10 luck back at the end of this. And then my pal is under a half.
Is it better than your hypnosis roll?
Yeah, frustratingly.
Okay, cool. So you just can't seem to you just kind of the adrenaline running from the night's events that have happened and all the kind of thoughts running through your head and obviously the exhaustion mentally that you already encountered today from using your gift. You're just finding you can't get comfortable enough here, and having the thing stuck to your head do seem to be kind of distracting you, and in the other room you can hear Wyatt bing 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 hammering away, and so it's just not the right environment for you to be able to pull it off. But you try for probably an hour or two to try and kind of get yourself into the right headspace, and it's just not working.
You know what I need? I need you to be louder.
All right. So was there anything else anyone else wanted to try tonight? No? Okay. Okay. So you guys, I'm assuming Milton, you would make your way back to Bargles that night.
Yep.
That'd be late. Marsden and Wyatt, you guys would eventually, or you just crash there because you guys have got some cots at the Anvil. But eventually you guys agreed to meet back at Bargles for breakfast, and once again, Eats Minor has been set up for you all, and Damiel and Owen, when you guys arrive, Sam takes you up.
So, Sam, this morning I think I would like eggs Florentine and sausage, please.
Of course, sir.
I'll have what he's having.
Right away.
It's
I'll
quite
have
good.
some quiche. But Damiel, it's great. It's good that you didn't show up yesterday. There was actually a paparazzi there taking pictures. But
Oh.
don't worry, I signed your name in the book.
Oh, that's fine. Yes, Owen was telling me. You guys had quite an altercation, huh?
It was pretty fun.
I didn't have any good luck. Neither Lomar nor Kethnos are words in a language that we could identify. However, we do have two Lomars in the phone book and one Kethnos in the phone book.
Really?
We've got addresses for the Lomars, but we don't have an address for the Kethnos. We've got phone numbers for all of them.
Did you check on the young lady this morning?
I checked on her last night. You mean Melody?
Melody, yeah. After what happened, it seemed like they kind of made the connections. Maybe we should call her?
Well, I told her last night that she should prepare in case we need to put her somewhere safe. Let's call Oscar and tell him he's arranging for her. We can have him move her someplace safe. Well, they don't know where she is anyway. She's not staying at her house.
She's not.
Is she not?
Yeah, she is.
Okay, she is.
That's why I was worried. Milton, maybe your friend with the Indian ghosts can put her up.
It'd be an odd request for me to make from her.
Not a hotel.
It's a bit complicated. Yeah, I wouldn't mind putting her up in a hotel. I can do that. There's this lovely place called the Chelsea, not too far from here.
Well, I told her to see if she had any relatives or anyone she could go stay with. I mean, something. I mean,
given that this organization seems to have some informational depth, perhaps randomly assigning her a hotel room under an assumed name would be safer than sending her to a brother-in-law and further endangering the family, if in fact there is any danger. I'm afraid that the association that this miniature capo Seabrook has is specifically with Oscar and us. I was foolish enough to inadvertently implicate them and then tried to cover it with a lie too slowly and clumsily.
It happens, Doc. But I'm worried about the young lady.
So we have these three names to go. I mean, the Kethnos and the Lomars, but I think we're still trying to find these others, huh? Ferdinand Argus. And the other fellow that you said. Who is Leon Antonelli?
Fontanelli.
Fontanelli.
The one who got kicked out.
Yes, he's the link roughly between Saybrook and the displeasure that he showed and the society itself.
Well, the Argus is, I think, the most obvious one. If he has done something to Brendan, we don't know where he is.
He could still be in New Jersey, and we haven't endeavored the ferry trip yet, but we don't know where in all of Weehawken he would be.
We don't have an address. We couldn't find an address in the book.
To ask the Sam for the daily papers again and look and see if it's the same ad or if he's reposted a new ad.
Yeah, sure. So the Sam kind of runs off to get the papers once more. Comes back, puts them down, and there is no ad.
He has the money. He has what he wants. He's gone.
Yeah, but the one thing about flim flam artists, they spend the money quick and look for more.
Do they move around a lot? Maybe he's now moved to another town.
Could be.
If he were simply a confidence fellow, and he were looking for the short cull, and one well-off dentist was sufficient, that would be one thing, but that doesn't explain the attachment to these so-called forgotten men.
Yeah. And
I'm
that's
most
so-
disappointed that we didn't see him there, or the hypnotist, or any other primary individuals of concern.
Did we check with the police to see if there's already a record on this fellow?
Don't believe so.
Wyatt and Owen did that when they went to the library. They did a full check on Argus, and that was when they discovered he just sort of, once he popped up.
Ah,
Now, Doc, didn't you say something in the cab ride about the pins? I was a little distracted at the time.
Oh yes, good point. Yes, the again there remains an unspecified but non-trivial relationship between the esoteric components of this matter and these thugs, because the primary or the principal architects of this far right group they were wearing pins that recapitulated the tree insignia that we had seen in the advertisement, and that indicates a priest of the lost land of Lomar.
okay. If we well, we might find the lead this way. If we can draw the symbol out correctly, I am the man with the feet. I will go and visit the various jewelry stores, the goldsmiths. Was it made of gold?
The lapel pins were probably something less regal, but the pendant with the gem in it is quite substantial.
Well, I think that, but there was just the one pendant, yes? Well, I'm thinking the pins, they would have probably had them made locally in a, in the jewelry district of New York. I could go and see if we could find out some information. They might have put down their names. They might have left their addresses.
Good call.
They would have had to if they wanted to be called so that they could pick up their order.
Now, refresh my memory. Did we take that article out of the newspaper?
You would have from the
we
yesterday.
did.
You bound to have kept a copy, yeah.
Yeah. All right.
I'm sorry, was there an association between that symbol and Argus?
Yeah, the pendant that Argus uses the same symbol.
All right. So that's what I want to find, because they would have had to have contacted him when the thing or shipped it to him.
Right.
We might get an address.
And one of us have the advertisement that has the image in it. So.
Yeah, if we've got that, it's a lot of footwork, but fortunately the jewelry district is all crammed together, in New York. I can just go up and down the street to each and every one of them. Oddly enough, most of them are Jewish, so I imagine maybe they didn't go to one of the Jewish ones.
Precisely my thought. They might have had to specifically seek out
somebody who
they
wasn't
would
Jewish.
consider pure.
So I could do that. If it gives us an address, then we can go find this fool of a hypnotist.
That's actually a really good idea.
Okay, I got my job.
I'll need to make some calls. Well, mainly a specific call to Yvonne to find out if we can head up there, but we've got a more pressing issue on our hands here at the moment.
Right.
I'm just sorry that I'm probably not going to be able to use my fists with the jeweler.
Yeah,
seem
those
to have
fists are
all-
made for praying.
You seem to have all the
Um,
fun.
Well, no, maybe
You can
not,
all
because-
give me an idea check and a spot hidden check.
I mean, if you find a League of Forgotten Man sympathizer Julie, you might need to give him a punch in the mouth.
Maybe.
Pass the idea, failed the spot.
Regular pass.
Hard idea, regular spot.
Oh, wait. Spot hidden too? Okay.
Extreme idea, regular spot
Ooh.
hidden.
Nice.
Pass idea, fumble, spot hidden.
Regular.
Okay. So all of you that passed your idea roll, you have an address for Leopold Fontanelli. You've received it twice now. You found it in the sign-in book at the League of Forgotten Men, and it was in the phone book. You have a written address for that person who has a connection with. The spot hidden check. Those again, the old window that Damiel saw Melody Sterling crossing the street out of. Those of you kind of maybe glance out the window and notice that across the street, leaning against the car, is 3 men, all with white armbands, just looking up at Bargles.
There are 3 men with armbands across the street looking up in our direction.
It's not like any of you said, "Hey, we're members of this club, Bargles."
Why?
I was trying to deflect from the other club. I should have. It is amusing. We all were using assumed names. I even remembered yours, Wyatt, which I was
Yes.
rather proud of myself for. And I should have said we were part of Bungles or Smeagol's.
Ha!
Well, I will go out separately because they don't know that I'm even associated with you.
We might have to leave via the back door.
You might, Demi, you might go out with another member as well who is also uninvolved.
I can talk to Mr. Crane. He tends to like to ask me questions. We can go stroll out.
Yeah,
But I'm
so-
finishing my
Finish
my-
your food.
eggs Florentine. It's
It is
delicious.
striking that they are sufficiently concerned about our visit, isn't it?
Yeah, but you know what? We're in the middle of Manhattan in a nice area on our home turf. I'm going to walk right up to them and see what the hell they want. If they choose to attack me out in broad daylight, 1, I'm going to give them my best, and 2, nobody bullies me.
Well, you're going to be confirming that you are here.
Well, they know already.
They think they know. They don't always know what you think they know.
What are our options for entering and exiting Boggles?
So there's obviously the front way, and then there will be a back door.
There's got to be a
way.
kitchen door and a
Yeah.
servant's door.
Tradesman's entrance.
Yeah.
Honestly, I'd be somewhat interested to notice if there were 3 more of these simpletons waiting outside the kitchen door.
Well,
That would tell us a great deal about their concern.
There's
Ask
windows
them.
down the hall. We should be able to see out the
Just
back.
send us Sam out the back. See if there's 3 mooks with white armbands. They're gonna be taking out the trash or something. Feed
I
a
need
cat.
another espresso anyway, Sam.
Yes, sir. I'll check right away.
I will.
Sam runs off to.
I will take my leave of you, and I will. What time would you meet this afternoon, or once
Right.
again 5 o'clock?
Sounds
Maybe
good.
not here. Maybe at the anvil.
You want to meet at the Anvil? That's not a bad idea because they wouldn't expect you to be there.
All right, we presume they don't have that address yet. It's, after all, not a private residence.
Do you have a
Right,
spare key so that I can get in when I arrive?
There you go.
Thank you.
And it's listed
Excuse
as
me,
a fish
Mr.
cannery.
Lethbridge. There doesn't seem to be anyone of that description at the back door, sir.
Very kind, Sam. Thank you.
Oh, can I have the phone, please?
Of course, sir. So he kind of
I'll
steps out
take
and
my
comes
leave
back.
of you. I'll take my leave. Goodbye. We'll see
See
you
you,
this
Dracos.
afternoon.
I called the local precinct. Hi, I am a concerned citizen. I see 3 gentlemen leaning against a car with white armbands. They are shouting derogatory slurs, and they knocked the groceries out of an elderly woman's hand, calling her a very unsavory word referring to the color of her skin. And when I approached them, they said, coppers won't do nothing to us. We'll smack them in the face.
Ooh, give me a fast talk.
I will spend 7 luck to do that.
Cool. Yeah. So they go. We'll send the officer over as soon as we can, sir.
And gents, would you like to enjoy another cappuccino and watch the show?
I suddenly feel like ordering a plate full of bacon.
Yeah, I'm not going to miss this. Like,
So probably maybe kind of 10 minutes max. A police car pulls around the corner and stops, and 2 officers get out of the police car and kind of look around the street a little bit and things, and walk over, and because they can see these guys leaning against the car, looking over at Bargles, and they could have come over, and you can't hear any of the conversation, but they sort of, you can see a conversation, they're talking about it, and then the cops just sort of start kind of pointing around, and off to the side they can see a shoe sign off of one of the corners, and they go in over, and they sort of talk to him, and you see the shoe sign. They kind of point just over to the guys who have the white armbands, who kind of look kind of dirtily at the kid, and then and then kind of look back up at Bargles, and the kid shakes his head, and the cops come over to the guys and shake their hand, and get back in their police cars and drive off. Fortunately, questioning people around the areas, there was no one said they saw any derogatory terms or anything like that. They're just standing there and against the law.
Yeah, I was hoping that the cops came all with piss and vinegar, because they said they were, hey, this guy said it was worth a shot.
It was worth a shot.
Well, lacking that entertainment, what should we do about this Fontanelli fellow? Direct approaches have been less satisfactory to me in the last 24 hours.
and that will be on his turf. It would be better if we had a phone number, at least to sort of break the ice a bit.
You do.
Well, we do? I thought we only had an address, sorry.
No, there was a phone number and address for Fontanelli in the phone book.
Mm-hmm. Well, what do you think? Should we figure out what we want to talk to him about first and then give him a call?
I've got an idea of something I'd want to ask him, but I'd want to do it in person because I want to read him when he gives his response. It's harder to do over the phone.
Okay.
And I left you the numbers for those other guys, the names.
So,
do you want to approach it, Blake, as if you were ignorant of the disagreement with Kilgrave, or?
Yeah, I'm going to approach him as just, hey, you're a like-minded folk person, well, at least similar interests, someone who's known to have a great deal of knowledge about esoteric subjects. We want to run some things past you.
that's a good idea.
What do you propose as an introduction? I found that bringing up Brendan's name did not generate positive results in the group of brutes.
Bring up the Arcane Society, and that it was mentioned in passing. We can't remember who mentioned it. Just saying that you were a bright mind in this field. As we're drawing a blank, finding stuff at any other avenue, see what he has to say.
You wanna phone Fontanelli?
Go for the direct approach.
Or you want to just go here?
Is that what you were suggesting, Milton?
Yeah, I'd rather put him on the spot. People can put phones down very quickly and very easily. It's a bit harder to ignore someone on your doorstep.
Unless you're packing.
Well, I don't mind bringing a knife to a gunfight.
And that's certainly not ignoring, after all. It's quite a response. We got a response last night, after all.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if there's a way to invite him into a situation where he can be observed more generally.
I would like to think there's a way, but I doubt it.
I wonder if he would be rooked, for example, by the prospect of being interviewed for a newspaper or quarterly magazine or some such. It seems as though he might be the sort of fellow who would like attention.
An egotist, so I feed into that. Oh, while I remember, any of you fine fellows a good drawer?
I sketch a little and sculpt some. I find it useful to generate.
Yeah, the same. I sketch also.
I'm as pretty as a picture, if that counts.
Well, I was hoping if I gave you, either one of you, a description of something, and if we did a workup on it, if I try and describe something in my best as I can, that you draw it for me, because I am pretty much useless when it comes to picking up a pencil other than writing with it.
It's certainly worth a try. And the image is quite clear in your imagination?
I think it's going to be burnt in there for a little while.
Because if you can correct me as I work,
that's the plan.
We might be able to find something that accommodates.
Mm-hmm.
Is this something you'd show Fontanelli, or is this purely for personal?
No, this is for Fontanelli. I want to get I want to see his reaction when he sees it.
Well, if you're prepared to brave the depths of the anvil again, my sketching materials are there.
Yeah, I don't mind.
We could both take a crack at it.
Yeah, see who gets the best drawing.
Okay, so Damiel, you've run off to, you slipped away, no worries. You just walked out the front to head off to look at some jewelers. Sounds like Milton, Blake, Marsden Lethbridge, and Wyatt Chambers are going to go back to the anvil and do some drawing. Oh, and what did you want to do?
I'll go along to the anvil and be the independent judge of the drawings.
Hey.
Right, yeah.
You're more than welcome, and I do have some materials from my distilling apparatus that you might taste. I've been generating essence of quince.
Excellent. If it burns, I'm drinking it.
Cool. So you guys all head off to the anvil and give me a art drawing roll, Wyatt and Marsden. Sketching, sorry.
Crap, I wasted I got an 08.
Okay, well, I'm glad you were successful because I rolled a 70, which is...
You drew a duck.
So give me a conjuring. So give me a power check, Milton. You've got good power, so that should be fine to be able to remember in detail, because I'm pretty sure I know what you're trying to draw.
It's a nice duck.
26 is under my half of my POW.
Awesome.
Mentions of ducks.
So what is able to draw this? I'm assuming the tower.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Wyatt's able to draw a pretty significantly, again, because it was a blurry image, like in your mind. It's better than the drawing that you did, but kind of manages to pick up what looks like a stone tower with some spires, some strange shapes floating around in the air, and And yeah.
To be fair, a blind 3-year-old could draw better than I could.
But yeah, so managed to draw that up. So around this time, it's probably around about 1 o'clock.
Mm-hmm. Well, should we go pay him a visit?
Sure.
I'm most curious.
But
Keep an eye out for lapel pin as well.
Okay, so his address is in Garden City on Long Island.
How far is that from Kilgrave's place?
Not super far. Like, they're definitely not in the same like upmarket area. This is a more kind of standard residential area, Garden City. Once you get to the address, you can see that it's a lovely 2-story house, quiet little neighborhood, where it would be quiet if it wasn't for the fact that there's a moving van out the front of Fontenelle's place. A couple of men moving furniture and whatnot out of the house into the moving van, all being looked over by a red-faced woman, probably in her early 40s, that seems to be kind of bossing people around. Standing next to her is a woman that looks like a slightly taller, younger version of the woman.
I'm guessing he didn't pay the rent.
Or he's also pulling a vanishing act.
Both. Who can most likely among us get a proper address out of some working gentlemen?
I'm relatively persuasive.
yeah, I'm not that great.
Tall and a smile.
Yeah, I find it hard to get those muscles to work going that way. Get going this way without any problem. But
I mean, like I'm a wee bit persuasive, but I think with Owen, his appearance would benefit him more than anything.
Okay, so you guys want to get out of your cab and go up to one of the movers?
I think you should try to get the information of the mover, and if it helps, I can distract the angry women.
Okay, so Marsden, you're going to go up to the woman, and Milton, you're going to talk to one of the movers.
sounds like a plan.
Let's try it.
All right, let's start with Marsden then. So you, as I said, you go up to the woman. She's got like a short, snub-nosed woman in her kind of mid-40s. She's got dark hair, set in finger curls, and she sort of sees you approach. She goes, "Let me guess, you're friends of Leopold."
I suppose he ripped you off as well, eh?
Well, if you call being my husband ripped off, then hell yes.
Oh, good heavens, madam, I'm twice as sorry for you. He's a scoundrel, a fraud.
Well, if you're not here for Leopold, then what do you want?
Oh, I'm here for Leopold. I'm here to give Leopold a proper drubbing. He's escaped again, has he?
Oh, he's walked out on me, and this is the last time. I told him if he walked out on me once more, that was it. I was packing up and leaving. This is my sister Marlene. We're packing up, and I'm going. I'm going back to California.
A pleasure to meet you, Marlene. Charmed.
Marlene's sort of like, you can tell she's very she kind of nods at you, but you can tell she's very much kept in her place by the older woman.
Well, madam, as I'll call you until you've achieved your appropriate divorce or annulment. Do you know where the little rat snuck off to this time?
I only wish I knew. Cordelia, by the way. Cordelia Fontanelli.
Pleasure to meet you as well, Cordelia, Madam Fontanelli. Do you know if he's hiding out with some of his scoundrel friends and associates?
Oh, he said something about going off with that Argus and his group.
Birds of a feather, wouldn't you say, Madame Fontenelle?
Yeah, I never liked that man. Ridiculous facial hair.
Rather precious, I thought. And what about that Brendan fellow? Have you seen him about?
Oh, the young one. Yes, he came here a few times.
I think he's fallen in with sharper types than himself. He'll get eaten up as well.
Mm.
So, California. I hear it's lovely this time of year.
Huh. Well, it'd be a damn sight better than here. As this conversation's going on, Milton, you go up to one of the movers, and he's sort of he's putting a chest of drawers down and kind of looks up when he sees you getting closer to him.
Hello there.
Boss?
Oh, don't come with that. I work for a living. This seems a bit sudden. Well, we were coming here to see the owner. When did they suddenly decide to put up sticks and move?
What? She hired us, and he gestures over to Cordelia.
Oh, okay. I thought there was a guy that was here.
Well, from what she's been saying, it sounds like he's walked out on her.
Oh, amazing. Oh boy.
She was trying to sell off a bunch of his stuff. She was trying to, she said we could just take what we wanted and things, but we get in trouble for that back at the office. So
what kind of things she's selling?
Well, here, follow me. I'll show you. And he kind of heads off back into the house.
Okay, I'll follow.
So as you enter the front door, you can see off to your left, there's a sitting room. To the right, looks like a dining room. And then directly ahead of you, there's a hallway and some stairs going up. So he takes you off to up the stairs. He up the stairs. You can see you can see a bathroom off the way. The other movers are kind of packing things in boxes, but he takes you off into a room that's it's almost looks like a library study esque type thing. There's a desk and there's books all across the wall, and like a nice chair. He said, "Well, this is apparently all her husband's whatnot." She was trying to say she was trying to sell us a bunch of it. I think she was trying to get back at him, but like I said, yeah.
Oh, okay. So nothing else has been taken out of this room. This is all the stuff that's for sale.
No, we haven't made it to this room yet. And as I said, she was trying to get rid of it anyway. So I guess if you asked her, she'd be willing to sell it to you or something.
Yeah. So tell the other guys to hold off. I've probably put down an offer for the stuff here.
Yeah, right you are, boss. And he'll walk out of the room.
I am going to, first of all, search the room like hell, so combing the place for anything that looks even vaguely remotely interesting, and having a look at the bookcases to see, I'm presuming there's gaps there, because I'm guessing he's going to have taken his most prized books with him. And if so, where those gaps are, try to identify what they are, if he's got any semblance of order about how this collection is organized.
All right. Give me a library use. Let's start with that.
I'm glad I put points in that now. Apparently it's written in Dutch, 99.
You're just seeing a lot of it looks like there's quite a few occult books here. You see Adolf Hitler's Mein Kampf. You can see a lot of what looks like journals. And you can actually see some published books, which look like have the author Al Fontenelle.
Contributors' copies. Okay. Going through the drawers quickly, anything remotely incriminating?
Give me a spot hit.
That's better. 07, so that's under my 5th, so an extreme.
Cool. So before you get to the drawers, you do notice actually there's a couple books on the actual desk. Look like they've been kind of read recently. There's a couple of notes, kind of, you know, things coming out of them and things like that. And you notice Paradise Lost by
my namesake.
by Reverend Dr. William F. Warren, Beasts, Men, and Gods by Ferdinand Ossendowski, and a second edition of A Journey to the Earth's Interior by Marshall Bolcher Gardner. That was a good enough roll that you also notice that all of these books have something in common. They are books focusing on lost civilizations and hollow earth theories.
Okay. I was surprised the first one with that title wasn't Milton's Paradise Lost.
Right. Sorry, it's Paradise Found. I read that
That'd
wrong.
be why I didn't recognize
Yeah,
it.
Paradise Found it is.
Okay. Curiouser and curiouser. Put
And
those
then
to
you
one
wanna-
side.
You want to continue to search?
Yeah, I'll have another couple of minutes, and then I'm going to go downstairs and start
Okay.
making offers on stuff.
You did get a very good roll, so I will give you this. So you find looks like his most recent journal is in his top drawer, and as you open up this journal, a scrap of paper is kind of embedded into a certain page, so you're able to pull this out and read it at the same time. Find it.
Well, his handwriting is definitely significantly better than Yvonne's. She has a lot to learn from him. August 3rd, 1933. So that's going to be a couple of years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, we're 35 now. I almost turned my rough-looking visitor away, which would have been the greatest mistake of my life. Thank what gods there be that he let slip hints of elder knowledge before I showed him the door. Once I gazed into those wolf grey eyes. Do we know? Have we seen anyone with that description yet?
Not that you know of. You haven't been looking for it.
Okay. I saw the blazing intellect within. He sought me out after hearing me speak in that shabby bookstore about my latest work, because he is in need of my services. He is a man out of time, an old soul from the golden age of Lomar! ! The world of today is unrecognizable to him, both physically and culturally, having but recently awakened in the charity ward at Bellevue. Even much of his eldritch wisdom is clouded, apparently a result of the great act of will required to traverse the eons and possess the body of Ferdinand Argus. Well then, I shall help him navigate this modern era and restore his strength. About a year later now, so September 21st, 1934, since returning from the trip to Europe to acquire materials to restore some of my master's faded knowledge, I have been quite busy with both further research and more conventional but necessary matters to implement our plans. That's a shift in tone, calling him master. I write from a hotel room in the capital after my meeting with Lee Saracen. Those that think him simply the secretary to that buffoon Senator Windrip dangerously underestimate him. I hoped to interest him in providing funding for our plans, but I fear he is unconvinced. He did share some interesting news. Radio sermonizer Bishop Prang is forming a national cadre, the League of Forgotten Men. Saracen also said Windrip is preparing to run for president. I understand the quasi-literate folk folksiness of Windrip's 0 hour, underlined, and its pie-in-the-sky promises have proven absurdly popular. So I suppose he has a real chance. February 15th, 1935. I despair of ever shaping the League of Forgotten Men into a proper organization, one which we can use as the vanguard in our war of conquest. What the hell is he going on about? Simpletons like Seabrook mire it in orthodox religion and lazy scientism. Nonetheless, I have identified various members of the Brooklyn chapter who will suit our needs well enough, though they must be kept in the dark for now. This is my curse. In America, the paranormal societies lack discipline and the nationalist groups are too conventional. Sadly, even the Nazis are discarding the occultists who did so much to establish them and their ideology. Even banning the Thule, or Thule, however you want to pronounce it, society. It is clear that we must forge our own path.
And then the scrap of paper that you found.
Book Travel for Argus to SAUGR? Sorga? Well, it might be something longer because the R might be cutting off into where it's torn, I guess. Curiouser and curiouser.
And with that bomb of information, we will wrap it up for this evening's episode.
Excellent. Our players included Jason Melnichuk, Matthew Sanderson, David Gastaway, Mark Anthony, and myself, with Zane Fleming as the keeper of the secrets. We have a Discord server where you can chat with our other members. You can set up private games. You can learn the finer arts of gameplay and game mastering. There is a link below. We provide audio-only versions of our shows, free for you to download from Podbean or iTunes. The costs involved with the show are provided almost entirely by our patrons. Without them, we wouldn't be able to do what we do. If you'd also like to help support our show, please visit our Patreon account. Just $1 a month helps us a lot. You can find a link in the description below. Like, share, and subscribe to our channel, and punch the bell icon for updates on our latest shows, and leave us some comments. We enjoy reading them and answer any questions you might have. This is Tom Riley, together with all the members of our gaming club, inviting you to journey with us once again into the darkness for another adventure into the universe of H.P. Lovecraft and the Call of Cthulhu role-playing game. Until next time, good luck and good gaming.